Great. Okay, so more introductions pouring in. Bello Akim from the Center for Enterprise Development and Action Research in the food processing industry from Ibadan. So you're very welcome, Bello. Engineer Anita Konko. The name of our company is the Book Market, and she's into social commerce and online business. It's a bookstore in Abuja. You're very welcome, engineer. Right. Okay, so let's proceed. So what are we going to discuss today? We're going to start with an introduction, which we've just concluded. Then we'll move into problem statements and industry trends. So what are the challenges with digital marketing in Nigeria for SMEs as well as the opportunities? What are the benefits of having a digital marketing intern? Then I'll introduce the SME Growth Voucher Program. We'll discuss how to enroll. Then we'll take questions and move to next steps and call to action before we close. So hopefully we should be done in the next 30 to 60 minutes, all things being. Right, okay. So I'd like to start with an interactive question. Almost everybody here is an entrepreneur or an SME owner. So let's say, and for those that don't run SMEs, just let's assume you're an SME and you have a very limited budget. So which strategy would you choose for your digital marketing and why? So you can either speak, unmute yourself and speak, or you can type it in the chat. So would you go for email marketing? Would you go for social media marketing? Would you go for influencer partnerships? Would you go for webinars and podcasts? Or would you go for blogging and having a website? So, like I said, you're an SME, you have a limited budget. Which of these strategies will you choose and why? Or assuming, you're already running some kind of digital marketing, which strategy do you already have and why? You can type them in the chat, please. Hello. Okay, still waiting to get your responses. Okay, so Jennifer says social media marketing because it seems like the lowest hanging fruit for her, and she thinks it's easily accessible, and she can post her products on Instagram, WhatsApp, or Twitter and Facebook. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I agree with you that social media is, pretty accessible to most SMEs and is low hanging. It has low hanging. It seems like the low hanging fruits. So thanks for sharing that. Anybody else? Okay, so Akachi says that presently he only uses LinkedIn because his business is a B2B model. So his customers are on LinkedIn. I think it's the most professional social media platform. So he uses LinkedIn. Okay, engineer Okonkwo says social media marketing because Nigeria has one of the highest usages of social media in the world. Thank you for that. Over 100 million Nigerians use internet and her target market is active on social media. So we have 3 people talking about social media. Anyone else? So nobody would prioritize email, nobody would prioritize podcasts or blogging. Okay, so it seems the social media advocates have it. Okay, right. So next question, although some people have already started answering, what's your preferred social media platform? Do you prefer using Facebook? Do you prefer using Instagram? Do you prefer using X, formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads, or YouTube? So I think Akachi has already said LinkedIn. Any Facebook user, anybody who prefers Facebook. Okay, Mary says Instagram. Thanks, Mary. Instagram is quite popular in Nigeria. I think it's one of the most popular. You can even include WhatsApp. Okay, Engineer Konko says Instagram and TikTok. Excellent. So TikTok is very popular with the younger demographic. So that's understandable. And Instagram is popular with a lot of people. Okay, Mary says WhatsApp. So yeah, WhatsApp is very popular. Charles says WhatsApp. Okay. Bello says Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Okay. Nobody uses X, or formerly known as Twitter. Nobody uses YouTube. YouTube is requires substantial investment because creating good videos doesn't come cheap. So I can understand why that's not everybody's cup of tea. Okay, all right. So now that we've all okay, Nkiru says Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, Nkiru is a YouTube user. That's good. So we have a few YouTube people in the house. Okay, so now we'll talk about what are the challenges with digital marketing in Nigeria. What's the problem? Since we Engineer Okonkwo rightly pointed out that Nigerians are amongst the most active social media users. So as SMEs, do we use social media digital marketing well enough, and what are the challenges? So now, what are some of the digital marketing challenges of SMEs? So first of all, most small businesses have limited budgets and resources to spend on social media. That's self-explanatory. Then time as well. We're all busy and we only have 24 hours in a day. So as a founder, you're doing sales, you're delivering, you're chasing after your invoices. Digital marketing just seems like something that is good, nice to do, but definitely not your priority. So if you know the quadrants, time management quadrants, urgent and important, urgent and important, you'll see that so digital marketing is likely to fall under quadrant 2, which is things that are important but not urgent. And then the urgent things, you keep on driving it out of your schedule. So you see that you keep on, you have time constraints, and so you don't focus on your digital marketing. Also, your competition, if you're a small business, you're competing with larger players. And so you find that that's a challenge. They have the budget, they have the expertise, they can sink millions of naira into the digital marketing, and you're just a smaller player. So how are you going to compete in this market? That's quite that's also a challenge. And then rapid changes. If you're familiar with digital marketing, you know that the algorithms are always changing. So today, linked every day, these social media platforms, they change the terms and conditions under which you participate in their sites. They can lock you out for no reason because you contravene their rules, which you're not even aware of. You post and they're not showing your post to everybody that is on your feed, and you don't really know why. So you find out that the social media terrain, digital marketing terrain is always changing. And so at a point, find yourself at a loss. And then finally, skill gaps. So even assuming you even had the time for it. Most of us don't like or don't have the skill to be proficient at digital marketing. We are good at what we do, but the other aspect of digital marketing is just, it's can be a black box or a gray area for us. Now, all these are unfortunate because the world is actually moving digital. The world is moving towards digital terrain. As we all know, digital platforms are changing the way business is done. So social media has revolutionized the world. Search engines these days, everybody, when they come across a new product or a new service, the first thing they do is what? They Google it. So search engines are also changing the way business is done. Mobile apps, these days, if you're running a business and you don't have your aspiration once you get some investment capital is to build an app, because that seems to be what everybody is doing. E-commerce platforms like Jumia, Amazon, Alibaba open up a huge terrain for people to access the internet. And now, so it's not even just about what other people are doing and your competitors are doing. Even your customers are using the internet every day. So, and how do they use the internet? To research you, they're checking you up. If you don't know, chances are when you meet a new customer, even after you introduce yourself, the next thing they do is they go online and they research you. And they don't just research you as a standalone, they're comparing you to your competitors. So they're looking at your pricing, which pricing is more favorable. They're reading reviews. What are people saying about your business online? They're making decisions based on what they see. So if you find out that you're not on top of your online game, then you're obviously leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, what are the benefits of having a strong online presence? Global reach. You can sell to anyone, anywhere in the world. That's the advantage of having an online presence. It's cost effective, it's cheaper. People like Akachi that enter advertising will know that digital marketing is way more cost effective than traditional advertising. You can imagine if you were to get a billboard or run an ad in the newspaper or thereabouts, it's going to be so expensive. But um as it is now, with social media, with social media, it's very cost effective. With even 10,000 naira, you can run an ad and then thousands of people will see your product. Then customer engagement. You can also engage with your customers because social media allows you to hear from them. Unlike traditional media that is just a one-way traffic, social media allows you to get feedback from people. And then that takes me to my next point. Digital marketing also helps you um to get data on how well people are using your product or how they think about your product. If you run an ad in the newspaper, for example, you'll find out that if you run an ad in the newspaper, for example, you find out that there's only a few people that might you won't be that might maybe send you an email or whatever. So you don't really know who is engaging with your content. However, if you focus on social media, you can tell the location of people that viewed your ad, you can tell their gender, you can tell their age. So it gives you an idea of who your target customer is. And then of course, social media is also very flexible and adaptable. Now, so having discussed all this, I'm sure now you'll be it's probably clear to you that you do need a digital marketing team or an arm of your business. Even if as a founder you've been doing it yourself, you find out that it's important for you to get support. And instead of what you might ask, okay, my first thought is I should probably just hire somebody. Why should I get an intern instead of getting a full-time staff? So first of all, a digital marketing intern is a cost-effective solution. I've mentioned it earlier that SMEs are very price sensitive. So having an intern is much more affordable than getting a full-time staff. Also, an intern will give you a fresh perspective on your business because all this while you know your business better than anybody and you've been invested in it, but sometimes you need someone with a different perspective to come and say, why don't you position it this way? Why don't you sell it this way? Why don't you reach out to this type of person? Why don't you consider this target market? So it's one of the reasons why people get consultants, to get someone with a third party, getting a third party with an objective view to come and tell you about what you can do better. Then diverse skill sets. These interns have been trained on digital marketing, so they understand SEO, search engine optimization, they understand web design, they understand how to use Canva and other design tools. So they have a wide variety of skill sets. Also, they're young and energetic. You can imagine, remember how you were as a young person, the world seems to be your oyster. So these people are enthusiastic, they're young, many of them are young graduates, and they're excited at the thought of putting their skills at your disposal. Also, it makes you more productive because you don't have to spend so much time chasing after digital marketing. You just know you've outsourced it and then you can focus your time on doing other things. Then finally, you get to vet before you hire. If you were hiring a traditional digital marketer, you have to invest maybe, I don't know how much the person will charge you, 150K, 300K. And then it's only in the course of the engagement that you see whether the person is good or not. But with this digital marketing interns, they start working for you. And then at the end of 3 months, you now have a good sense of what their abilities are before you now get to engage them fully as your digital marketers. So these are all the benefits of using an intern. So at this point now, I'll now talk more deeply about the SME Growth Voucher Program. So this program is structured in such a way that it lasts for 3 months. So if you engage by September, which is our first batch, the intern will work for you for September, October, and November. Then also during the program, you'll be getting guidance from experienced mentors. The interns will be getting guidance from experienced mentors who oversee them. So it's not just that we're going to get them and give them to you and then take our hands off the steering wheel. These interns will be followed up by experienced digital marketers in the person of Room Money. Room Money is a digital marketing training institute that certifies these interns. And so they will be overseeing the activities to make sure they're giving you the best. We also have a dedicated project team at Cleos Africa that will be tracking the deliverables. So if they promise that they're going to post 5 times a week, we'll be tracking to make sure that they meet the expectation. So again, it's not just that we're going to put them on your project and take our hands off. We're going to be tracking and monitoring. And then it has a potential to increase your revenue by 20, as much as 25%. Research has shown that when business owners engage in digital marketing activities over 2 years, it tends to lead to an increase in their revenue and their sales by 25%. So as you know, just imagine increasing your revenue by a quarter of what it currently is just from digital marketing activities. I'm sure that's an attractive proposition. So now what would the interns be doing? Good question. The interns are first of all going to work on your content creation. They're going to work on 2 platforms. So many of you choose your 2 favorite platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you want to work on it. They also provide social media posts, 5 a week and 20 a month. So 4 weeks a month. So that's 20 social media posts a month. They'll provide 4 sorry, excuse me. They'll provide 4 blog posts a month. So they're going to be blogging for you 4 times a month. They're also going to help you with emails 4 times a month. They'll send 4 emails to your target market. Then graphic design 8 per month, so 2 per week. They also edit videos for you 4 a month, and then they will help you launch a webinar or a podcast once with the frequency of once a month. And then finally, advertising. So depending on your budget, whatever your budget is, if you want to run ads, they will help you with that. Okay, so at this point, I'm sure you're wondering, who are these interns anyway? What do they look like? What are their names? Who are they? Can we meet them? So I will take a pause and then we'll go to the website, www.cleosafrica.com, where you will see their profile, the profile of these interns where they've signed up. So just a minute, give me a second to access the site. So if you want to access on your device, or just take notes, it's www.cleosafrica.com. Okay. Okay, I can see some people posting questions. Don't worry, we'll get to the questions in a bit. So you can post it in the chat and I'll take note of it. Great. Okay, so this is our site. Like I said, you click on www.cleosafrica.com. Of course, before you view it, you have to register, create an account, and then you log in and go to consultants. And then you search for digital marketing consultants. This is what you'll see. These are the profile of digital marketing consultants we have. Let me read out a few. So we have someone like Uche here on the left. Uche is a digital marketing expert with a diverse range of skills. She specializes in email copywriting, WordPress website design, website auditing, search engine optimization, and Google My Profile. She helps businesses boost their online visibility, increase sales, and drive engagement. She has a proven track record of success in helping business owners achieve their digital marketing goals. So you can read a lot more about her. There's Joyson Harrison Joylock. She is an extraordinary visionary project manager and strategic guru with a trailblazing record in bringing a dynamic blend of data-driven prowess and creative finesse. Then we have Godwin Rickin. Godwin says, the best product in the world will never achieve success if it fails to connect with the right audience through effective marketing and strategy. Philip Kotler. So you have a quality product and your service is the best, but you're not generating the desired result from your social media campaigns. Even your content is not converting, leading to low online visibility, and you need help generating sales online. He has the expertise and experience to implement the right strategies that will position you as the best in your industry through digital marketing, social media marketing, compelling copy, and so on. So you can see there are tons of them. I actually have about 50 of these interns. So we have Peculiar, we have Ruth, we have Kizito, and so on. Please disregard the daily rate. This daily rate, so let me try and explain. Plios is a platform that matches people to consultants. So our consultants work on business plans, strategy plans, HR, finance, accounting, and all that. But for the purpose of this program is unique. So it's not your typical project that we have on Clear Africa. This project is a voucher. It's a promo that we're running where you can access our freelancers at little or no cost. So please disregard when you go to the site, even if you see 30,000 naira a day, that does not apply to this program. These interns work for you at you only just pay for registration and for their data allowance, to make sure they are able to complete their activities, but you're not going to have to pay for their skill set or their service. All right, so okay, now let's go back to the presentation. Don't worry, very soon we'll get to questions. So I'm just taking note of the ones in the chat, but we'll get to questions very soon. Right. Okay. So, like I said, you can just take note of the website if you want to go and take a look at it in your spare time. I'm typing the website details in the chat, www.clearsafrica.com. All right, that's our site. Great. So, again, I need to emphasize that time is limited, so there's a bit of urgency if you want to kick off with us. But starting the September batch, on the 4th of September, and enrollment ends on 31st of August, which is next week Thursday. So I'd advise us to make hay while the sun shines, and make as much effort as possible if you want to enroll. So you probably want to know, okay, what are the steps for enrollment? First of all, you need to apply. Most of you on this call have already applied, which is how you've been getting our emails. So you need to fill the Google application on Google form. Then if after this webinar you want to engage further, just send me an email. I've been sending you a couple of emails, so I'm sure my email address is not strange to you, but I will still share it. My email is glory.ininaya. I'm posting it in the chat. glory.ininaya@cleosafrica.com. All right, so that's my email. So just indicate interest. Just send me an email and say I'm interested in enrolling. And then I'll send you the engagement letter. It's like an agreement that governs the terms of the relationship between yourself and my company. Then once you're free to look through, ask questions. If you need clarification, we can jump on a Zoom call, or you can send me an email, or even call me, and then we'll just clarify. And then once you're happy and you sign, then you make a payment of 50,000 naira, representing 20,000 naira for registration or processing, and then 30,000 naira for data allowance for the 3 months. So meaning when you pay us on a monthly basis at the beginning of the month, we'll buy data for the analysts, for the interns at 10,000 naira per month to make sure, they're able to execute their duties. But I'm sure 50,000 naira for 3 months comes to less than 15,000 naira a month. I'm sure you know that if you were to engage a proper digital marketer, nobody is going to collect 15,000 naira a month for you. So we will see this as we see this as it's still a free service, and what you're paying for is just to facilitate, to make sure that there are no loose ends. Then after you pay, we'll have an onboarding session with your intern. We'll match you based on the requirements of your company. We'll match you to an intern that best meets your requirements. Then we'll create a WhatsApp group for communication, and then your program will kick off. So now we'll come to the question part we've been looking for. So now it's time to hear from you and get your questions. But before you ask your questions, I have a sense of what people want to know from the interactions that I've been having with people. So the first question people usually ask is, can I afford an intern? I know, the economy is quite harsh, and, small businesses are hit are being hit by it. But as you well know, cutting your marketing budget to save money is like stopping your watch to save time. Just because you stop your watch doesn't mean time is going to stop. So just if you're going to stop your market, if you're going to cut short your marketing budget, you still need to find a way to make revenue. So like I said, 50,000 naira for 3 months is I feel it's quite a reasonable amount, considering the amount of work the person will be doing for you. Then second question people usually ask, what is the skill level and training of these interns? So when you go to the profile of each of the interns, you'll see many of them have been trained by renowned digital marketing institutes such as RuMoney. Most of them are trained by RuMoney. They've taken the Google has a 6-month certification program. They've taken that. Many of them have also taken the Microsoft certification. They've taken Digital Marketing Institute certification. So these are people that have understood digital marketing from different perspectives, and they're keen to put their knowledge and skills at your disposal. Then again, you'll be asking, okay, for this 50,000 naira, what's the return on investment? Well, like I said earlier, if you research has shown that if you invest in digital marketing over a period of 2 years, you stand to gain an increase in 25% of your revenue. Now, someone once asked me, why are they even working for free? Like, if they're so good, why would they want to work for free and at no cost? And my response was that they just want an opportunity to prove themselves, to put their skills at your disposal so that you can test them and see what they can do for you. And then at the end of 3 months, you can now engage them fully as at an agreed upon rate as your digital marketing analyst. So it's a freemium business model where you have a few months, 3 months to test them for free, and then you now engage them fully at the end of the program. Then who will support and supervise the intern? Like I said, RuMoney will provide digital support, digital marketing support. So if they run into any challenges or they are struggling to understand your needs or whatever, they have experienced mentors that will put them through. And then for supervision, we have our project managers at Cleos Africa that will be tracking all the deliverables on a daily and weekly basis so that we know when they're falling short and we're able to close the gaps. Then final question that someone asked, if the program is free, why am I paying 50,000 naira? So like I said, what is free is the skill of the intern and the time of the intern. I'm sure 15,000 naira in this economy cannot get you a graduate to work on a digital marketing for you. So the 50,000 naira is for the registration and for the data allowance. So you will be giving them an allowance of 10,000 naira every month for their data, so that because when you're not paying someone, some of them are, for example, they get allowances from other things they do, but you don't want them to give you an excuse that I don't have data, that's why I can't work on your work. So to prevent that, that's why we're asking, charging the 10,000 naira per month upfront. Okay, so that covers the questions I have. So now I'm throwing the floor open. Yes, I'm throwing the floor open for questions. Okay, so let me start with Engineer Okonkwo. So you said 50K is for 3 months total. Yes, Engineer Okonkwo, it's for 3 months total. Then Olasumbo said, so they're kind of using us to test run their skills. Yes and no. Some of these people, they're digital marketers for a living. Some of them do this, like they're professionals. They do this for a living. But they want to use this as an opportunity to acquire you as a client. And so they want to put their skills at your disposal so that you use them and test them. When you're convinced, you can now engage them. So some of them are they're trained and they're trying to get experience. Some of them are already very experienced and they're just using this to acquire more clients. Like that's yourself as a potential client. So that's the answer to that. Then Engineer Okonkwo says, can the 50K be paid in 2 installments? Well, I'm not sure we may be able to accommodate that because we wouldn't want a situation, because we're going to have to sign an agreement, and then we wouldn't want a situation where in the middle, if there's a lapse, the digital marketing intern will not be able to continue the program. Many of them are engaged and they're interested and they're enthusiastic, so it will be a disappointment to them if they're not able to continue the program because of funds. So if the funds may not be available, we'd rather that they don't even start, rather than they start and then at the end of the day they're not able to continue because of funding. So yeah, so that's that about that. Okay, so I don't know. I'll open the floor now if there are more questions from the floor. Anyone has any questions to ask? Have we covered everything? Okay, Ella, is there a process to review monthly to ensure positive results? Yes. Okay, so that's a good question. So like I said, we have a project management tracker that will be tracking the deliverables every month, to make sure that they're meeting requirements. We're also going to have a WhatsApp group that will encourage all the communication to take place on the WhatsApp group, so that all commitments. So for example, let me give, because we're the middleman matching you to these interns. So for example, assuming you're expecting them to deliver a certain post in 2 days, and then at the end of the day, they don't meet up. If there has to be a written, it's good to have that WhatsApp group so there's a written um confirmation that this was the instruction that was given. And so when we come in, we're in a position to say, okay, this intent was not. If everything is verbal and maybe based on the phone calls, then there might be communication gaps. But the mechanisms we're putting to ensure that there's full compliance is, first of all, the WhatsApp group. Secondly, the project management tracker. And then, of course, if you want to have meetings with us to discuss anything, we're always open and happy to listen and take any feedback on board to ensure that the objectives of the project are met. Then you said, are there parameters to track value to the business? So digital marketing is a marathon, not a sprint. So even though there are cases where from posting from 1 or 2 months, you can get results, it may not always be the case. So we can't guarantee that on the basis of this 3 months, your income is going to increase by 25%. What research has shown, I have a PhD, so I'm very careful about working with facts and things that have been proven. So what research shows is that when you engage digital marketing for 2 years, your revenue increases by 25%. So again, depending on your company, the revenue, if you have, for example, if you've been running a digital marketing campaign for years before now, then the impact of this will come faster than someone that is just starting digital marketing, doesn't even have a page, obviously that kind of person may need a bit more time to come on board and then build the required momentum to start making sales. So tracking value to business in these 3 months may not be very feasible. Then a situation where result is not achieved, what happens? Okay, when you say result is not achieved, the results are the responsibility the responsibility of the intern is to carry out the task, and they've signed agreement, they've all signed contracts, so but it's just like, for example, a job. For example, you hire somebody and the person disappears or does not, then obviously you stop paying the person salary, right? So in a situation where, this is an extreme example, we don't envisage it happening, but in a situation where, for example, for any reason, the contract, the agreement, the engagement comes to an end, then we'll refund the outstanding data allowance. So for example, maybe in the first month, the person, I don't know, dies, God forbid. And then, so we'll refund you the 2 months, the data allowance that you paid for 2 months, since no work is going to be done. Then Sissy Carol says, are there tasks limited to a number of jobs and activities? Yes. Okay, let me quickly go to that slide. Again, because we're trying to standardize this. Hold on, let me see. So these are the responsibilities of the intern. I think you came in a bit late, so I will just take it again. So social media content creation for 2 platforms, social media posts for 5 weeks, 5 per week, 20 monthly, blogging 4 monthly, email marketing 4 emails monthly, graphic design 8 monthly, video editing 4 monthly, webinar 1 monthly, and then advertising based on your budget. So this is what they've committed to doing. But like I said, this is we try to be as professional as possible. So they've signed internship agreement. This is what they've committed to doing. Now, however, we try to be customer centric. So assuming maybe you're launching a new website and you want them to have a look at it, or assuming you're launching a new course and you want them to advise on your sales funnel, if it is within their toolkit, maybe they're good at it and they're able to do it, why not? They can take on ancillary duties, but you can't now hold them to it now becomes a courtesy. They're now doing it out of courtesy and out of trying to be customer centric. Not necessarily, you can't now say, they did not meet their responsibilities or whatever. This is what their responsibilities are. So just like someone that's supposed to work with you 9 to 5 can work overtime, and then of course someone that works overtime will be given commendation or approval or recognition or something like that. So this is what they're committing to, and this is what the internship covers. But where they can do more, in a situation that they can do more and they don't mind, because again, to be honest, they want to make you happy so that you can retain them. So if they're able to do more, fine, then it's not a problem. We try to be customer centric. Okay, Engineer Okonkwo said if the intern doesn't meet up with the milestone, what are the guarantees or penalties? Will there be a refund? Yes, I've said that we'll refund the balance of the data allowance that for the months that were not worked. Then Ella says, I believe every engagement has KPIs and KPAs, no matter how small. That's the area of result. Thanks for clarity and well done. Okay, thank you so much. And Engineer Okonkwo, assuming your current needs are not in the responsibility stated here. Okay, so we run a platform. So this is a special project. We have tons of digital marketers that do a lot of things. So if you want anything outside this, maybe you want someone to create a website for you, then we can have a discussion. We have digital marketers that can create websites for you at affordable costs. Or if you want someone to what I don't know, you didn't explain what your current needs are. So I'm just estimating. So we can definitely have a conversation. It's just that for the purpose of this program, because we want to standardize the offering, and then we don't want a case where some people are said to be having to do more than their peers, or people feel as if they're being overused, or being used for more than what they committed to. Because this is a free service, essentially, almost like technically a free service. They're not being paid for their time, they're just being paid for their data. So we don't want to, as it were, overload. Okay, you said current needs, website optimization, SEO, upload of products. Okay, so let's take that offline. If you decided to commit to the program, like I said, this at the core, what we have on the screen are the core responsibilities. But we can, if the intern we've assigned you to has the skill and the time and is willing to accommodate these additional needs at no cost, then that can be arranged. But if the scope of the work is beyond either the time or the willingness of the person to do it for free, then we can also still work with you to get somebody that can do it at a reasonable cost, because we're a platform and we do a lot of matching of individuals to freelance consultants. So yes, okay. So thank you so much for your questions. In the absence of any other, I don't know, do we have any other questions? Engineer Okonkwo, if you applied, then I think I will have your number in the database. I can have a phone call with you later, or you can just send me an email, and then we'll have a Zoom call so that I just get a holistic sense of what you need, and then we'll match you, because we've already started matching people. We have someone that's been matched to a lady that is launching an online course, and the lady asked that the intern should look at her sales funnel and advise, and the intern is happy to do it, even though it's extra work. But like I said, she's customer centric. The intern is customer centric and wants to make her happy. And more importantly, the intern can do it. So she's happy to do that. So we'll have to have a conversation and get a good sense of what your needs are. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, engineer. Okay, so thanks for your time. Let's see, what time is it now? Okay, we have 15 minutes to the end. So next steps, if you want to take the conversation further, respond by email to glory.in@closeafrica.com. I'll send you the engagement letter. You can have a look at it. If you need any clarification, we can have an email, we can correspond via email, have a Zoom call, or I can send you my number and we'll have a chat. Then you sign off.
Sustainability. Oh, yes.
Okay, then you sign off, and then we kick off. Okay, so things to note, just as a final reminder, remember the enrollment for the September batch ends next week. So if you want to kick off on the first week of September, it's important we tie up all loose ends in the coming week. Then what are the benefits you stand to gain? It's cost effective. You get fresh perspectives and creativity, diverse skill sets. These people are energetic and enthusiastic. You get to increase your productivity. You get to vet before hiring, and then there's potential to have these people on your team afterwards. So in closing, thank you for your time, for your attention and your engagement. We'll share the recording of the webinar to those who are not able to attend. And if you want to just review the presentation to capture the details, we'll also send some feedback forms so that we get a sense of how you found the webinar. Please follow us on social media. On LinkedIn, we are Cleos Advisory Africa, and on Instagram, we are Cleos.Africa. So in closing, please embrace the digital journey. Digital is here to stay, and every click propels growth, and every connection paints success. Thank you so much for joining, and I wish you all, hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.